my ring light.
Can they see us? Yeah, they can see us, I think.
Yeah,
we
yeah, we're good.
There we go. Are we live already?
Yeah, we're live now.
Oh, shit.
But we'll wait. We'll wait until people show up, I guess.
I can't go live on Instagram. Um,
I can't even mention you.
yeah, no one can mention me. Why? What am I doing that's so...
Nothing. You're
I'm like,
speaking up for your
that's
country, so
crazy,
they
man.
hate you.
It's crazy. He owns like the internet stuff in Haiti. We talk all the time.
Oh.
Jeez. Dude right there. He was trying to do the same thing. He's like, yo, why can't... Like, I don't know, bro. Instagram got beef with me. Let's see here.
I don't even know how to. Oh, yeah, it says 2 people viewing, so I think people are here.
You see them?
Well, I think
nice.
up
There
here. I haven't been live on YouTube in like 5 years. So.
Let me see. How do I write? Going live. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, everybody. We're just getting our ish together.
Yeah. It's got to do it organically. Can't be all...
Yeah.
Set up like
we don't do scripted. Y'all know me by now.
You got to just go with it, man. Go with it. Going live with... You do that because my mind is... I've been up since 3 a.m. I am the devil's hour. Yeah. I like to go up in the devil's hour. How is it being an occultist, madam? How do you feel?
It's great.
It is great. Hidden science, hidden knowledge.
All right. Well, how do you want to start?
Moment of silence.
All right. Let's
President was killed about 243 days ago in July. Where's the camera? Oh,
right there. Yep.
All right. So you do the whole minute mark thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you do all the, hear the mom.
All right. It's noon exactly, so we'll start with the 1 minute now. Okay. Do you want to actually speak a little bit about that?
The president?
Yeah.
Well, the president was he was misunderstood, by his own people. And it's funny, the president, he was assassinated by us, by the people, just like the first leader, who was Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who was the emperor, because we started as an empire, as a monarch. That's how Haiti, it was supposed to remain like that, but the outside forces and the interior traders that we usually have, they dismantled the system. But he had good motives. He was trying to restructure like our agriculture. He was trying to restructure the whole system when it comes to the roads and everything like that. He rebranded the military, because we haven't had the military over 30 years. But he ended up having the same faith with our emperor, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. He was betrayed by his own, and he was killed. International community, local community, everybody was involved. Everyone profited one way or another from his death.
Wow.
They're arresting people, left and right. They're arresting people in Colombia. Was it Colombia? No, they arrested someone in Jamaica, in the Dominican Republic. They arrested another man in Turkey. He's part of the Haitian Arab community. People don't even know we have Arabs in Haiti. We've had them there for over 100 years. Haitian Arabs. We have that community there, and but we still don't know who paid for it. It's still a
Wow.
mystery. Who paid for it? Who paid to kill a president?
So it seemed like though that the president was trying to actually do good for Haiti. So why?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, he was. But why would he be killed? Because we have the oligarchs in Haiti who, they monopolize everything. You know what I'm saying? Because the way Haiti works when it comes to the economy, you only have a certain group of families who control steel, who control wheat, corn, who controls oil. That's how it is,
Right, right.
And
Same as here.
same as here, same as all
Yeah.
over the world.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know what's going on right now with Vladimir and the Ukraine and all that stuff. When he got into power, he had a lot of problems with the oligarchs, the original, that was there. They wasn't messing with him.
Yeah.
He had to fight that, and it ended up being what it is. So, but it's sad. It's sad because a lot of Haitians, they don't understand how this guy gave his life for the country.
Wow.
Because that's basically what he did. Like, it's like a sacrifice that he did, because he knew going against the oligarchs without really having like a strong military, a strong security force, it was just suicide.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Um, do you want to speak on how this ties in with religion and true voodoo versus um because like so around here you see it a lot. There's like the Haitian Christian churches, and there's
Yeah.
and I'll meet people from Haiti that it's like a cuss word if you even bring up like
Voodoo.
voodoo.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
know.
like
They look at me like I'm crazy.
yeah,
Because
and
me, I'm considered a blanc. I'm considered a white boy in the Haitian community because I wasn't born in Haiti.
okay.
And they get it kind of twisted because my parents and my family's from Haiti,
Mhm.
and I speak the language, and you know and I know the culture because I was raised in it, because my grandparents, they were in it. So I grew up as a little kid watching it. And a lot of Haitians that are my age, they didn't have that because their parents was already on that Christian crusade. And like you
Mhm.
said, it's taboo to talk about it in the household.
Yeah.
So when you say talk about it in regards to the president, are you talking about the way the president was killed? Because there's things too involved with that.
and then in general, so like maybe start with that, and then we'll.
Yeah. So with the president, he was involved, of course. He was one of the let me see. He's probably the last president ever since Francois Duvalier, who was the dictator of Haiti. And that's when, during the dictatorship in Haiti, that's when $1 was equal to one Haitian dollar. That's when we had tourism. That's when we had security. The oligarchs, they were not able to do whatever they wanted because we had a dictator, Francois Duvalier.
Okay.
He was very much involved in voodoo. There's a James Bond film. I forgot the name of the film, but they talked about Francois in the film because in that time during the 60s and the 70s, he was like the boogeyman, but he was like a celebrity also. So even Hollywood loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, where we have all the gang violence going on downtown Port-au-Prince, by the water, that used to be a tourist destination. Tourists used to come in every weekend and just go, freely up and down the city,
Oh, wow.
during the dictatorship. Because I know there's a lot of people that's anti the dictator,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't accept anything that he did that was wrong, because he did kill. There was certain massacres that happened. Of course, I'm not gonna accept someone killing children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Jovenel Moïse, he was involved in voodoo. He was involved with this secret societies that was down there, like Saint Puel, okay, which is one of them. We have Bizango, we have Blingeding, etc., etc. I can't sing all of them, but we have a few of them, right? And then why did he get killed? Because people say if he was involved, why would he get killed? He knew he was going to get killed. He had signs. He knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think maybe he thought that he could still fight the system, but you can't fight a system like that by yourself.
Yeah.
So he made errors, and that's why he died. In regards to Haitian voodoo, it's um it's unique because it's a mix of West African and the Tainos that was in Ayiti. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the reasons why I call the page Ayiti organic, because the word Ayiti is the original name for the island. The island was Ayiti Quisqueya, which is what we call Hispaniola. Which has Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So Haitian voodoo has all of the West African tribes. We have people from Alada, the Dahomey Kingdom, Benin, Togo. We have an island which is called Bisago, which is where we get the secret society Bizango. So, all of these people that came during, the Atlantic slave trade, they came to the New World, because that's what this was at the time, the New World. And they ended up, like, every time a slave escaped from the colony, when we're talking about Haiti, they would always run up to the mountains. And when they ran up to the mountains, they would find the Tainos that were left. Okay, because on our side we had a few Tainos, and on the eastern side, which is where the Dominican Republic is, there were more Tainos, and a lot of them left also and migrated to Borican, which is Puerto Rico today. That's why there's a lot of Taino blood over there in Puerto Rico. A lot of them came from Haiti.
Do you feel like that well, so like on the timeline of things, do you feel like the Catholic Church and like the Christian religions came in and like suppressed because like if you suppress spirituality, like the true spiritual, like what it's supposed to be in a region, you can pretty much dominate like everything because it gets people out of whack. So do like in the timeline is that what happened? And do you feel that if Haitians, especially in Haiti, go back towards their original roots and spirituality, that this can actually be fixed?
Yeah, the Catholic Church. Oh, that's my religion, by the way. My religion of choice, because voodoo is not a religion. I mean, now you can call voodoo religion because it's all over the place. People are paying to become initiated. Where I'm probably getting contacted from spirits, right, in my sleep, or even awake. I see them. A lot of these people, they are paying $4,000 or $5,000 to join voodoo. So you can say it's become like a religious thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Vatican, they know how strong voodoo is. They know the potency, because we use voodoo to remove the European monarchs from Haiti. Like, we remove them, from war and battle. You have to understand, during the time of the revolution, we didn't have that much soldiers compared to France, compared to Spain. Who else? Great Britain. They all, once they saw France was losing, they all tried to help France to regain the colony, and they couldn't. One of the reasons was because we had voodoo. We had our own, spiritual help, which everyone does, right?
Yeah.
Because the United States, when you look at Washington D.C., it was a lot of Masonic work done for them to, create the American empire. But when it comes to Haiti, the church knew that if they figured out a way to brainwash us and have us, I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that the Vatican did, right, which was so smart on their part. They would tell the people in the outskirts that we had too much demons inside of our trees. Okay, the mapu trees. We had trees that were, hundreds of years old, that the Tainos used to, do all of their devotion and stuff like that. Well, now they told us that there's demons in those trees. There's negative energy in those trees. Got to chop them down.
Oh my God.
They started to chop them down. This is something that first of all started like deforestation. Okay, this is why when you're looking at a map of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, our side has less trees, you know.
Wow.
So that's one thing. They also attacked the production of our black pigs, because the native pigs on the island, which are black, we use those pigs during voodoo ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? So they said there's demons and stuff in those pigs, so they slaughtered the pigs.
Oh my God.
I'm laughing because I'm a
Wow.
Roman Catholic. I'm part of the Vatican Mafia. I'm a Roman Catholic. Even though they've done terrible things and murdered millions of people repeatedly, but I like the church. I like going in. I feel.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I went to what was the name of my Catholic school? Saint Teresa. That was my school.
Teresa of Avila.
Teresa of Avila, man. I went there for
Yeah.
years. So yeah, and another thing the Catholics did, they actually put churches all over the island where they knew there was a law. They knew there was a spirit, and they knew people was doing their thing there. So they would put a church right there. They would put a cemetery right there. So they can try to piggyback off of that energy.
Wow. So you can actually kind of see how, like, with the cutting down trees, like getting rid of your the pigs.
Yeah.
So now it's like you're having to be reliant. It's like using religion in order to make you reliant on a governmental system so that they can take over. That's pretty like planned out.
Well, they plan everything.
Yeah.
This is why I don't talk bad about the church when I'm online, because I know the plan.
Yeah.
I know how to, and they plan like what's going on today in 2022. Yeah. It's been planned since 2000.
Yeah.
Like they wrote it down. Like, we're gonna do this step by step. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't do then you're shit out of luck. Yeah. And they plan it out. What's the end goal? I don't know. I'll let everyone Google what's the end goal.
Well, you can't Google anymore.
You can't Google anymore, right? Yeah, that's illegal.
So use your imagination while you still can.
Yeah, while you still
that's
can.
That's illegal.
Yeah, that's illegal. Imagine.
Unless you upload your consciousness to the meta, and then
then you're gonna go for a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're gonna go for a roller coaster.
Can you talk a little bit about like the initiation and voodoo, because that's I see a lot of that online. There's a lot of confusing messages out there about like that the religion and the spirituality, whatever you want.
Which voodoo? You talking about Haitian voodoo?
Yeah.
I mean, with the Haitian voodoo, how can I explain it? Because there's different types of voodoo, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened is, in the city, like in the popular regions like Port-au-Prince and stuff like that, where you have Asongwe, where they're giving the initiate the Ason, which is that rattle. Mm-hmm. Okay, people are paying to get involved in that today. Like in the past, you were chosen and you went through the process and then you got initiated. But today, a lot of the people that you see online, and I don't want anyone to get upset with me because I know a lot of them, I'm not, it's not a disrespect, like, because sometimes people have to pay to learn, right? Mm-hmm. But whoever's teaching you, they got to be right. They got to be righteous. They can't be, taking your money and then having you doing all types of nonsense. And meanwhile, your life never actually gets better. Yeah, because I know a lot of people that got initiated and paid, $4 or $5 grand or more, and their life got worse. Wow. I've done readings for people on that page, and after I do the readings, and they're like, "Oh wow," they're like, I got charged like such and such and such, and you just charged me $40. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, because it's a hobby.
Right.
I'm just, I want to help people if I can, and that's it. In Haiti, during the initiation process, okay, let's go back. Okay, inside the city, in the more popular areas, you have the Asongwe. Okay, you have people that is doing the Kanzo, where they're getting involved with like a, they call them société. It's like a group or a house, right? Because every temple that you see, they all are associated with a specific group, okay, with a société. So the Wugan or the Mambo who's in charge of that temple, they're the ones that's going through with the process with the initiate, right? Now during that well, I'm not going to say too much because I've never gone through that. So since I've never gone through it, I have to just, but what I know on the outskirts, you're going through the process with the actual entity. You actually going through the process with the spirit. On the outskirts, you're supposed to go to where your family is from. That's how it works. So if you're from a specific area in Okap, in Cap Haitian, you're supposed to go to that area where your family is from, and you're supposed to make a demand first. You're supposed to start communicating with the dead first, with your ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're supposed to guide you along the way. Now, the guidance can be, there's certain people that start to come into your life as you're doing the process, and they are also teaching you, and you keep on going. Like right now with initiations and the way I see it in Haiti, it's crazy because
Yeah.
now everyone is a mumbo,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is a wugan, and I'm just like, when they ask me what am I said I'm not shit. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just here, man.
I notice this a lot in a lot of initiated traditions. I was talking to one of my friends about this. People get initiated that haven't done any inner work, and they just like pay the money so they get the crown, so to say.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
and like they now have a level of power that they don't belong having, and then they fuck up other people because they're teaching wrong information, they're using power they have no business using, and they're doing things for bad rather than what the spirits would be wanting them to do.
I'm gonna tell you, like in the past, if you were like, if I see you're sick and I can help you, I'm supposed to help you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be like, she might have some money, man. Let me see if I can get a couple grand off of her real quick.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
If you have the power, that's not the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to help. Of course, you got bills to pay, so you could tell the person, hey, do
Yeah.
this and this for me. If the person can afford it, if they can't, hey, it's like in the past, if a child is sick, the Wugan is supposed to help.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to charge no money.
Yeah.
They might tell you, they might charge you. They might tell you they give you a list. They call it a set, a recipe. They give you a list and they say go buy these things and then come back and then they do the work.
Well, and that's
how it
what
was.
and because you're supposed to be in service to the
You're
people.
supposed to be in
and
service.
that's what
It's
that
to help.
that is for. Like you
Yeah, you got it to
yeah,
help people.
and
It's not for
exactly.
yourself.
Like it's not just to like, oh, I got this, now I'm gonna get rich. It's like you're supposed to wear that as a thing, like you're like the medicine man or woman, and like I can help because you see things spiritually, what's going on with people. You get the herbal remedy, you get, it's like the same thing when people are asking me about things, like I see the thing of what they need and what's wrong and generational this and that, and then you get the antidote to it. So you're supposed to speak that through your mouth on behalf of the spirits.
When you go lay down and then you're seeing these visions, in your dreams, depending on who the person is, because sometimes you'll see someone and maybe you haven't talked to that person in a while, right? But if you're a mystic and you see the person, there might be an issue, you got to reach out to them.
Yeah.
You don't wait till you hear, a couple weeks after the person got in a bad car accident or this or that. And it doesn't go like that, And I've been guilty. I've been guilty, when I'm on some bullshit. There's been people that I know, this is going to happen. I'm just like, whatever. And it happens. And I feel bad. I feel, oh, man, I should have told them. But sometimes people don't want to listen to.
True.
Sometimes you're trying to tell them, but they're like, they're not trying to listen to you. In their mind, they're good.
Yeah.
There was something else you had asked before.
I don't remember. I was speaking to like the power and people not doing the inner work. And
yeah,
I feel like initiation should actually be a long process. Like if that's
right.
a path you're chosen to, it's gonna like it should be a long process of going through the steps and the little, like I'll call them like mini initiations, like
right.
with the spirit.
Right.
So you're learning how to communicate and what you're supposed to be doing. Like there has to be fruits along the way, and then like that's a big thing because then you're considered a priest or a priestess. So it's like
shouts out to Ashade. She's an African American. We talk all the time. I think she has a grandparent that was Haitian. Okay, but her lineage, that's how you say the word, right? Lineage. Okay, so she's like a relative that's from Haiti, but she's from New Orleans and then she's in California somewhere now. But we always talk. Very good person, pleasant person, and she got initiated. But before her initiation, she did a process. She did a long process. And that's how it's got to be. You got to do a process.
Yeah.
You can't just wake up overnight and just be like, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'll get initiated.
Yeah, and then you start selling candles every week. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're selling, potions every week.
Yeah.
You just said something that's true. The person who's doing the magic, right? When they're doing the potions and they're selling you this potion to whatever the fuck, you do not know where they got initiated from, that Wuga or that Mumbo. They might not be working with their law,
Okay.
because in our thing you can buy a law.
Oh,
You
I didn't
can,
know that.
yeah, you can buy one. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying too much, because you always have
Yeah,
people like,
yeah.
oh, you're here giving out secrets. I'm not giving out secrets. This is Google stuff.
Yeah.
But that right there, I just said, it's important for all of you guys that do get initiated into this thing. You got to make sure you really know the
Yeah.
person that you're getting initiated under. The house, the society. What is the character of this person? Does this person have good character, or are they a piece of crap? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well, and two, that when you get initiated, it's like that family, it becomes a part of your essence. So it's like you could almost look at it as like an insert into your DNA. So
Yeah.
like do you want that to be your
Yeah.
family? Do you want that energy and essence on you?
Yeah.
Because it will be.
Yeah.
So I think when people are so quick to jump, I went through that, and I'm not going to talk too
Yeah,
much on it,
I
but
remember.
he helped me out a lot with
I
that.
remember.
But it's like I don't want that up in my, because I do the inner work to become pure, and I
Yeah.
want to be pure for my spirits and pure intent, and I'm constantly doing this work. So like I don't want to cloud myself with some bullshit
Yeah.
and have
That's
that
going to block
and,
you and block
exactly.
everyone else. I keep on having brain farts. I want Happy being next to her. This is a good person right here. It's a good person, man. Always look out, good person. But I was going to say, voodoo, Haitian voodoo right now is also a problem for Haiti.
Okay.
So you were talking about the Christianity and
Mhm.
stuff, but also voodoo. It's a problem right now because of what I just told you. Because we have a lot of Wugan, Mumbo, Boko. Bokos are more what you find on the outskirts. Those are more the people that I like. They're the ones
Yeah.
that deal with zombies and all that stuff you see on television. They're the ones that make potions. They're the ones that make poisons also, and all that stuff. There's a lot of them today that are too much in it for self.
Mhm.
Okay, so in Haitian voodoo right now, in the voodoo community, there's a lot of the leaders, a lot of the people that we're supposed to be looking up to, that are on some bullshit.
Mhm.
They're not doing right, and that energy, like you just said, it comes back to the people, it comes back to the country.
Right.
I mean, we need to do a serious cleansing for Ayiti, man. We need to do some. We need to do some serious cleansing.
Yeah.
We have a problem in Haiti where we have the Loa, which are the spirits that we deal with in Haitian voodoo, fighting against other spirits that were invoked during different types of ceremonies. Because we have Masons, and we
Yeah.
have other groups that are calling other spirits onto the island, and they're not making them go back where they came from. So we
Okay.
have that problem also. So it's like we have a spiritual warfare going on inside the country too.
I see.
Which is causing more havoc, more chaos.
Well, yeah, I feel like the physical realm is just a reflection of what's going on in the spiritual realm, so that
right.
you
see it
can
globally.
see what's happening, but then you need to be taking actions spiritually in some
you
type of way.
You can see it. You can see it globally, all over the world. Everything that you see going on physically, there's something else going on the other side. Entities are fighting amongst each other to say, no, this is mine. No, I want this. I want this. I want to eat these humans.
So how do you clear that and send that, like, spirits that don't belong there back to where they came?
First of all, in regards to our situation in Haiti, it starts with the people. Like, the people have to physically understand, like, you know what, enough is enough. Everyone knows what cleansing is. You might not know how to do it, but if you go searching for it, you're gonna find it. So the people, they have to they start changing their mentality. Because in Haiti we have a problem where everyone's in a fog. Imagine the president got killed, and a couple months later, people's like, president who? Like, some people don't even remember that the incident happened, because of daily stress, other things going on, and that spiritual fighting that's going on. When I talk to certain brothers, certain sisters down there, there's how do you call it, like prayer circles,
Mm-hmm.
prayer groups, that's going on right now as we speak. You know, and there's certain groups that's doing certain prayers, invocations of the law, and trying to get more balance with these spirits. You know, we should have done a ceremony after we gained our independence, which we didn't do. You know, because we used more fire spirits, war spirits for battle, and we were supposed to say, okay, thanks, time
Yeah,
to go,
yeah,
and we just didn't really do that.
yeah.
you know the dictator, he did it for a while, but he died, and there's never a continuation. We need things to continue,
Right.
and that didn't happen with after the dictatorship fell. He was very hard on Bawon.
Mm-hmm.
That was the spirit that he used.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's our spirit. That's our
Yeah.
guy. He used Bawon a lot. If you look at old clips of Francois Duvalier, he talked like this. He had like a thing in his voice because the spirit itself, when it comes on you, it changes the way you speak.
Mm-hmm.
You speak through the nose, and
Yeah.
so he
Wow.
used that spirit a lot, Bawon, and that's why we had peace.
Yeah.
We didn't really, like I said, a lot of people have problems with him because, like I said, he did kill innocent people. When they tried to like kidnap his children, he went nuts. And he went to certain areas where the mulattoes were, like in Jeremy, and he massacred people,
Wow.
kids and all. And
Wow.
I'm not for that. That's
Yeah.
probably the
Yeah.
only thing I don't really accept. Him
Yeah.
doing. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Casualties of
Can
war.
can you speak a little bit on when we were talking about initiation and the process, and you were saying like when your family, you have to go to where your family's from. So um does this limit initiation to people who are only Haitian born or have Haitian ancestry?
No, I say no because I've met I've met a few people, because what it is, when we're talking about these spirits, it's all universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all universal. Like there's certain entities that I work with that come from the Hindu religion, but I'm not Hindu.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what's come to find out? My nickname, which is Babu, that's my nickname I got when I was a baby. That name is some kind of, it's like it's a name of respect in the Indian community,
Oh
like with the
wow.
Hindus. I didn't know that. I recently,
Yeah.
because I always, for some reason, I like their culture over there. I like their religion, and I started to work with some of them. Like Lord Ganesh, and things work, right? I
Yeah.
see them, but
Yeah.
I'm not Hindu because I come with my heart. So if you're not a Haitian, but you might see a spirit like Ezuli Freda, Ezuli Dontor, Bawon, Cousin Zaka, all of these different spirits. You research it, you like the spirit, you have something that you feel connected to, you can make invocation to that spirit. Now it's up to the spirit if it decides to, come or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So you could actually invoke without them coming to you first.
um, yeah, yeah, you can. Because what happened is sometimes if you see you have some kind of interest in that spirit, you all of a sudden you just everything is that entity. It could be them making you
Yeah. Yeah.
get interested and
Yeah.
telling you to, hey, come all over.
Yeah.
you know um so like I said, with okay, back to me with this whole Hindu thing. I'm not Hindu,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm pretty sure there's different secret societies that they have in their culture, in their religion. I can't be part of it because I
Yeah.
don't speak the language. I'm not born and raised in their culture. So there's a limit,
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be a limit for the person.
That makes sense.
There's always going to be a limit. But you
Makes
can,
sense.
but you can, because if you're coming with your heart, what I'm saying? You're not being hypocritical about it. You're being real about it. And they see that, they sense that, they'll come to you, and they'll come speak to you in whatever language, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've met Hispanics. Where are they from? think it was Panamanian or something, and they study voodoo. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, they eventually got initiated, but there's always going to be a limit.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be a limit because Haitian voodoo, when we're talking about the spirits that comes from that, we're talking about pitual spirits. You know, and the pitual spirits is where you find Dator. You know, that's where you find Tijan. You know, these are the spirits that was formed from slavery and the extermination of the Tainos. That pain, that's what caused, that's what built the pitual. You know, are they writing stuff
Yep,
over there?
someone has a.
All right, let them write, man.
Speaking on Barone, I had a dream about him a few months back. I was sitting at a table with what felt like ancestors. They said, so hi to your uncle, and I saw him and I woke up. Oh, say hi to your uncle, and I saw him and woke up. Is that a calling?
Well, first you have to go. If you know where your family is, this person in the States or what?
Yeah, where are you located?
Like, let's say they're in the States, right? If they have a family member that's buried in the U.S., they can go to that family member. You know, if they don't really have access to go to Haiti, and not only for a Haitian, but anybody, anybody you wanna get in touch with your ancestors, go to the cemetery.
Yeah.
You know, go to the cemetery. If you could find out who was the first person buried in that cemetery, that's usually the baron. Excuse me. That's usually the baron of the cemetery. If it's a man, if it's a woman, that's the Brigitte. Gun Brigitte. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's the person that, and all cemeteries are connected all over the world. You know? So you go over there, you go with coffee. You can go with because you're gonna go and you're gonna set up like something in front of the person. So you go with coffee. You can have sugar and you have one without sugar. And you make two sets of very, very strong coffee. You go over there, you go with water, you go with clear, you go with like how you call that, like white clear rum. Go over there with it, and you make your demand. You know, well, not a demand. You go with invocation.
Make contact.
Contact. Yeah, you go and you speak to them. You know, every time when you're going to speak with these ancestors or any kind of spirits, when you're in front of them, you always make sure you do the 4 directions of the atmosphere. You always start east, west, north, south. The sun goes up in east, right?
East, yeah.
Yeah, so you start where the sun's at, and then you drop 3 times. Then you guys call it libation, and then you start to communicate, because the energy's there.
Yeah.
The spirit's there. They're like wind.
Yeah.
They're always around, but you just have to communicate with them, and you have to believe, because when it comes to mystic, when it comes to magic, half of it is your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Not second guessing yourself. You can talk yourself out of anything.
Yeah, once you second guess it, doesn't work anymore.
Exactly.
It's
you can talk
over.
yourself. Like, I've had a lot of lessons with that because I'm so like analytical minded. So when I first got into this, I was constantly over analyzing everything and talking myself out of what was happening. But then like things would happen, I'd be like, oh,
yeah, they'll give you
listen.
they'll give you a sign telling you that, hey, calm down.
Yeah.
Let us work.
Yep.
What else were you gonna ask me?
I don't remember. Does anybody have what?
My witch?
Are you a witch?
You're a witch. Some girl called me what is that? Warlock?
A warlock.
Explain that to me, because she couldn't really give me
I think
I was like, warlock? The fuck?
There's like wizard, warlock, and I'm not part of that type of tradition, so I don't know. I don't really use those terminologies.
That's like more like Greek.
I think it's
Irish,
like Wiccan or something, or pagan. I don't know. It's something
like the Wiccan thing. I think that's more.
I think warlocks are ones that study a lot. Like, they understand. Like, you would probably be that because you study a lot. You do a lot with texts and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. I shy away from all those terms.
She gave me the term. I was
I
like,
just
huh?
am.
What the hell are you talking
am
about,
what I
man?
am.
That's it. I am what I am.
Yeah.
Well, there was something else you asked me, but I forgot. I'm trying to think.
Dreams are really big about spirits coming through in dreams and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like when I want to actually, that was the first time I got contacted from Barone. I didn't even know what was happening. I have him on speed dial, so I'm always like, and then like I
think he brought me towards you,
yeah,
and then that's what woke it up, and that's how it works.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like, the person doesn't necessarily, you don't need to be Haitian.
Well, he came into my shop, and like I just kept hearing like ask him about voodoo, and I'm just like, I don't even know this fucking person. He could be a Christian and like start trying to do an exorcism on me. Like, I don't fucking know. So I just said
holy
it.
water.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was gonna whip it out.
Water.
But like I just said it, and then all of a sudden, like he just like laughed and like shook his head and like looked down. And I had like there was 2 people in line behind him, so he's like, we'll wait till they clear
I was
out.
like, let him go.
Yeah, and then
Let
we
him
talked
go
for like an
first.
hour after that. I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy.
Let him go first.
Yep.
Let him go first.
Yep. And I even had, that's when you brought up Teresa of Avila, because I had a book, and because she's a mystic and a Catholic mystic, and
so
I was like, oh my God.
I spent about, I mean, I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, and my family, you know, we're the like in New York, like up north, most of those Haitians, they're Catholic and voodoo. That's how we, you know what I'm saying, we hide the voodoo. But I mean, today a lot of people, they're against that. They don't like that. They say that we have to stop, you know, whitewashing or whatever the word is. I don't get into that. I mean, whatever the person already got in their head, I can't convince them otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever. But I went to St. Teresa of Avila, and I was there for like 8 years.
She used to levitate.
She levitated.
She used to get into ecstatic trances from taking communion, and there's a story of her that because she would levitate and stuff, like the priests bar her from like coming into the ceremonies.
Right.
And a priest, she was in the back, and they wouldn't let her partake in communion, and she like made the wafer fly to the back to her or some shit. Yeah, like she was like had to stay in her like
she
room.
Was like Helena Blavatsky.
Yeah.
If any of you guys know Helena Blavatsky, she used to like doing that a lot too. Bending spoons.
Yeah,
and shit. I love Helena. She taught me a lot too.
I have one of her books.
But Teresa in Haitian Vodou, that image, because what we did, we synchronized the saints with the loi. Okay. I mean, there's a new movement today with the New Age. They want to remove that. They don't want to use the images of the saints anymore. They just want to use the veve, which are the sigils, which is cool too. I use both. I don't care. But Teresa in Haitian Vodou is Gran Brigitte, and that's Baron's wife.
I didn't know that.
look, my God! Look how she did the little spike.
Like, I didn't even fucking know that.
Yeah, Teresa is
Gran
Brigitte because you know in my house you'll see when you walk in, that's the first image you see, Teresa, and then they're like, oh fuck, you got this white girl up here. They don't know it's a little bit more with me.
Yeah.
Because once you really get into the occult, color doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the color thing and the race thing. That's for the outside. That's for. There's a reason why they use, you know, the color and the racism to control people. So I don't get too much into it. You know? When I meet someone, if they're not black or colored, if they have a nice heart, nice brain, I'm all with it. You know.
Yeah.
But Gran Brigitte is that's Teresa.
Do you
use that image?
Do you think that the
are people laughing? I see it.
So
you gotta look. I can't see people
laughing. With syncretism, so you see the Catholic saints used in syncretism in a lot of like the African traditional religions, especially. And I actually started wondering if saints were created based off of like the Loa, because like some of the saints, it's like there's question around if they were actually like human in existence. And so I sometimes I'm like, did they just purposely create these saints to like, because there's like hundreds of Loa, so it's like it's like unlimited. What was actually created first?
Yeah, it's unlimited, you know. Like they in voodoo they call like the grand architect, right? That's more of a Masonic term. Grand architect that created everything. Well, we say Elohim, but in Kabbalah they say Elohim. So you start seeing like everything is connected one way or another, right? If you really pay attention, some say civilization started in Africa, others say it started in like the East Asian Indian region, but wherever it started over there, it migrated as we migrated. Because the reason, you know, you have people now that are white or different colors because of them migrating from one part to another part. You know, when we migrated to the Caucasus regions, which is Russia and all that today, our pigment started to change. You know, the colors of our eyes started to change. But only smart people know that. If you're dumb, you don't know that. You're just stuck up on the other stuff. You know, so I'm pretty sure the Loa was here today. I mean, we call it Loa, but whatever the term was, I think when you look at Vudan, they say Orisha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
term they use, Orisha. But some of those Orishas are in Voodoo,
I noticed
like
that.
Shango.
Yeah, because when I listen to the songs that you
Oh
send
yeah,
me and
oh
stuff,
yeah,
and when
oh
I'm
yeah,
preparing like my room,
oh
and
yeah,
I hear some of the Orisha because
yeah,
my other spiritual brother, he's
yeah,
initiating that.
yeah.
So it's like I'm always like, hey,
So
it's
yeah,
like
so once
crossing
you
over.
so once you see that, you understand like it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
I tell people like as people's all whatever with the racism, white and black. I say, what are you gonna do when the aliens come? And they look at me. Yeah, you laugh. Then they look at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, well, you here worried about cracker, this, nigger, this, that.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when something from above just comes down and say, look, you're all earthlings, go sit over there.
Yeah.
Chop
That's
off their
coming.
heads.
That's coming. Yeah. I
What are you
know,
gonna do?
right?
You're just gonna be scratching your head like an idiot.
Yeah.
So with the mysticism, with the occult, it's all connected.
Yeah.
Just different terms. You know what I'm saying? Different terminology. What is important is your heart and your mind and your body. I'm saying we got to make sure we keep our body right. That's another era I see a lot of like the mumble in Haiti, like a lot of the voodoo like priestess. You see a lot of them, they're very big, like very obese. And I'm like, girl, you need to walk a little bit. If you don't walk, you're gonna catch a heart attack. And no God. Spirit is gonna help your ass, but you just caught a dumb fucking heart attack. Yeah, man. Like my grandmother, she was heavy, but she had fucking like sugar and all types of diseases that came from bad eating.
Yeah.
I'm like, grandma, the spirits are gonna tell you to eat right.
Yeah.
You need to know to eat right.
Yeah.
Because the spiritual, they're not 100% everything. They're just half. So when you're in the physical, you have to remember you're in the physical. Don't just be in la la land and forget this body that you have has an expiration date.
Yeah.
Keep it right.
Yeah, exactly. What else? Anybody have any questions or anything? Do you have any other topics you want to hit on?
We're rambling because I know we go. Flowing. When do you have to pick up your son?
No, not well.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We can probably go till like 1 o'clock.
Okay,
so
good. So
another 15 minutes.
So we're good.
I feel like I got another question I was going to ask you, but I don't remember. It'll come
right,
back.
But with the revolution.
Yeah.
So the title was Haitian Voodoo
yes.
Revolution.
Yes.
Here's the thing with the revolution, right? The revolution was going on like years before 1804, right? They said that it really started like 1791 is when they sparked it off, but it was going off 100 years prior. In the revolution, a lot of those people were not Haitian; they were African. Like people forget that. Like while the fighting was going on, because they still was importing slaves, even if it wasn't at the same rate. Because what they did in our colony, Saint-Domingue, the French, they're fucking nuts. They were just like, you know what? Let's just have some kids with the woman slaves and then enslave them.
Wow.
So Ayiti was one of those places where the mulattoes, they were slaves also. It was a colony where that's why when the war started, they were like our inside spies, We call them the Affranchis. That group of mulattoes or maybe like free blacks, because that was a big thing if you could buy your freedom back then because it was so expensive. They were like the people that planned out the war because they knew how all of the plantation owners, how they operated, and they studied in Europe, and came back to Haiti. So they were part of the revolution. They probably didn't like fight physically, but I'm pretty sure there was poisoning motherfuckers, left and right. So the revolution, we did the ceremony, Buakaima, and that's the ceremony I told you that, we invoked, these entities, right? Like Doto, we invoked Ogu, so we can fight.
Mm-hmm.
We invoked other spirits of Gide, which is, where Bawon comes from, these spirits that deal with the dead. And that's why we was able to withstand getting shot. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because when the Europeans were shooting at us, the bullets were just popping off. They had the little muskets. So the first group would shoot, put it in the water, and then you take the other musket and you shoot. Well, that shit was just popping off of us, and they couldn't understand why. And it was because we were on the Gide right. It was on.
Wow.
It was invoking that energy,
Wow.
and we were
They
supposed
don't
to.
teach you that in history class, do they?
No. That's supposed to be a. But we're not in those times anymore. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm just giving little stuff. I never go too much because I remember one time someone that I respect, their child is on my page. One of the one of the warlocks or whatever the hell you call
Yeah.
it down there, the sorcerers. And he told me, he's like, look, man, I understand what you're doing is good, but limit, because we can't tell people
Yeah.
everything. You know what I'm saying? Because once people know everything, they are not real responsible with what they know.
Yeah, it
And
goes
they
back
just
to what we were just talking
yeah,
about.
they want to just kill everybody.
Yeah,
Someone steps
exactly.
on their foot wrong, they're like, oh, I can do this,
Yep.
this on this day, on this moon, boom,
Yep.
I'm going to get them.
Yep.
And it shouldn't be like that, But another thing with the revolution is we had, I was telling you and your husband, because he's Polish, we had the Polish involved in the revolution, because the Polish was sent by Napoleon. And when they came over and they saw what we were doing, and they came from Europe, they were poor, they didn't have shit, and they're like, you know what, we're not going to fight against these people, we're going to join them. And they joined us. And we had some Germans also that joined us.
Oh, wow.
And they ended up, when Jean-Jacques Dessalines made the first Declaration of Independence, 1804, it said that everyone is black. And that was a way for us not to have discrimination and stuff that we have today in Haiti. He saw ahead. He was like, no, everyone's black. It don't matter what your color is. Wow. So we would have nègre noir, which means black man, or nègre blanc, which means black white man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was back then. Everyone called each other nègre comment est là, nègre ça qu'a fait. And that had unity, it formed a unity because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is dangerous.
Yeah. Because
that's why this is pulled so hard today.
Yeah.
Because it's dangerous when people are together.
Once people are together, once people are unified, you're gonna have a lot of issues and a lot of problems.
Yep.
And that's how we was able to become the first Black republic in the region, right after the United States. We even helped America. There's a statue in Savannah. If you go to Savannah, you'll see us. You'll see our king, Henry Christophe. He was the little drummer boy. They put up his statue in Georgia.
Wow.
The United States and Haiti, we're connected. Our history, it's very deep, very long.
Yeah, I always actually wondered about that because you like a lot of politicians are always having their fingers over in Haiti.
Look at Bill.
Yeah.
With his Arkansas rice, which we're still. He came with Arkansas rice and destroyed the rice sector. He destroyed. He destroyed our agriculture and everything. And then he wants to apologize later on. I'm so sorry. This fucking sucks. Yeah, right. Get out of here.
Haiti, like in the more and more I talk to you, that's it's such a resource, thick.
It's like Africa, like the continent.
Wealth. Yeah. It's true wealth, and so
billions.
It makes sense that it's so manipulated and controlled by the select.
We have something called iridium. That's how you say iridium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have iridium. Yeah. We have billions.
Wow.
Dollars worth of iridium. I think Afghanistan has it also.
Yeah.
But once you start seeing what we have underneath the ground, then you see why we're like this now. Okay. Yep. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, the other part, like I said, people. You know what I'm saying? There's things we need to do to improve ourselves.
Yeah.
My wife, she was telling me that, the education system, we got to improve that in Haiti, because you have different types of education systems going on in one country. They don't really preach civic duty anymore. The people are not proud nationalists. There's nothing wrong with being a nationalist.
Yeah.
It's just like you just have national pride. If you're American, you're proud to be American. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are a Canadian and you have Canadian pride, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You respect others. Now, once you start disrespecting others, then that's when we have problems. But hey, you proud of your country. I don't see nothing wrong with that. So we don't have that anymore in Haiti. We need to get that back.
Yes, exactly. Because then you actually stop. You stand up for something.
You have to stand for. Yeah, you have to stand for something.
Yeah.
You have to stand for something. I posted something this morning about the Dominican government. They are, building a wall.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're building a wall, and someone was like, "Hey, the way I wrote it, it's like I'm saying the Dominican government is stealing land." But how do we know they're not?
Yeah.
Because we don't have a government on our side. Our
Right.
president was killed. The prime minister, who's prime minister right now, he is a suspect in the case.
Oh my God! So who's actually like
the prime minister?
Okay.
Yeah, the prime
but
minister.
He's
a suspect
actually,
in the case. Movie
right.
shit, man.
Yeah.
Movie stuff.
We're definitely watching.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So the Dominican government can do whatever they want to do right now because we don't have no government on our side. We don't have a real firm government. And back to the iridium, that's one of the reasons why we lost the dictatorship.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The Duvalier regime fell because a lot of people don't even know, that president, Jean-Claude Duvalier, who was the dictator's son, he was 18 when he took power, so he didn't really know what the hell was going on. I mean, there was people around him, but he was young and, he couldn't really hold power like that. And the international community, they wanted to take more control of the natural resources. Reynolds, the aluminum, they were down there during that time.
Wow.
That's where they was grabbing their aluminum.
Wow.
Wow. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Any questions? I don't see them. I see them just laughing.
No more questions.
So I don't know. It's all good. We did a good hour.
Yeah,
almost.
We did. This was good.
Do you have anything you want to ask?
I don't think so.
Or tell me, or say. What do you think about my page?
What's going on? Okay, so what is the current state of Haiti, and where do you actually see a movement happening where people are actually awakening and kind of like here, right? People are finally unfortunately it's through corruption that people are awakened, through
sorrow, through death.
People want to bitch and complain about things that are going on, but at the same time everything is happening as it should, because if this wasn't happening, y'all would still be in 2019 in La La Land thinking everything's good. And it's not that nothing has changed, it's just that it's now in your awareness. It's always been this way, it's just now you can actually see it and it's in your conscious mind.
People are definitely being more awakened in Haiti. I see a lot of the youth. Well, it's two. You have a group that is doing what we're talking about. And of course, you're going to have the other group that's with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's getting involved with the mysticism to get rich quick, to do all types of stuff. They don't care who they got to sacrifice. So, we still have that, but it's not as heavy in this new generation. This new generation, they're figuring out ways to develop themselves, to develop the country. If you're looking at the youth right now in Haiti, and you're looking at pictures and videos of them, you'll think it's here. You're thinking they're in the States, with the way that they carry themselves. You know what I'm saying? There's just things that's going on that I'm happy about. They're not anti-loi. They're not anti-Vodou. You know what I'm saying? So that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be change. It's going to take a little bit more time. It's going to take a little bit more time because first there needs to be something. There need to be some kind of karmic a vengeance for the president that was killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the way that he was killed, because I don't know if you noticed, but they beat him up. They broke his limbs. They didn't just shoot him. They did all types of craziness to him. So stuff like that, it can't go like that.
So spiritually, do you believe retribution will come?
Yeah, definitely.
And at the same time,
and globally, people don't know how, because we are the Gide energy that we have in Haiti is extremely strong.
Yeah,
I was in Haiti for the earthquake. Okay, my family thought I died. That's why every time the earthquake comes, I say it's my birthday.
Yeah,
I survived it. I was one of those people that was removing the bodies and putting them in the dumpsters, in the dump truck thing, right? So I've seen. I've seen. We have a lot of Gide spirits. We have a lot of dead spirits. It's very strong over there. And with certain ceremonies that's been going on ever since the president was killed, not only we going to see some kind of justice, but you're going to see globally things changing.
Wow.
You're going to see globally things changing.
Do you feel like it will
Sorry.
be exposed? Oh, go ahead.
One
Yeah.
thing, the president, before he died, I think a week prior or 2 weeks prior, was starting like new relationship with Russia.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I should. I'm gonna see if I could. I'm gonna see if I could post that on my storyline
Oh.
so you guys can see the diplomats that came to Haiti.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
I was gonna say something in Russian, but I don't think so. Как дела, Как дела, хорошо. Заебись. Спасибо. Да, нет.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna go down. You know.
I was gonna ask really quick
Sure.
before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that part of the spirits coming through and like exposing like all this bullshit and the karmic retribution that the people who are to be held accountable, like in Haiti, but also maybe globally, will be like,
you are confusing me.
Put
Do it step by step. Give me the first step first. We're gonna go like 5 minutes over. Give me the first question. You know you with the paragraph.
Okay,
I'm like, oh,
all
shit.
right. It's one sentence at a time. Do you feel that the spirits will, I want to say, like hang out to dry, like put in public eye so that people can see like this is who did it? You know what I mean? Like,
very possible. Very possible. Because right now, currently in the country, the people who were kind of against Jovenel Moïse when he was president, because what happened is before they killed him, like I said, he was against the people with the money, with the monopoly, right? But before they got rid of him, they destroyed his character first. Just like over here in the States, like the way I saw they destroy what's the guy, Trump? They destroyed him, and I was like, damn. And I'm looking at his policy, I'm like, okay, he got a little bit of whatever, but he's not that bad. But they crucified him in the media. Right. That's what they did in Haiti with Jovenel. So when he died, when he was killed, it's like they was conditioning the people's mind first.
Man, it's the same shit. Wow.
See, it goes to their cult.
Yeah,
how everything is the same.
There's one cult.
There's one cult.
Just these little different ways that they
Yes.
And they keep all of us out of communication, so we don't know, hey, wait a minute, the same play is going on in your country too. They just try to make us all hate each other based on our skin tone.
Because they lose. Like I said, I being initiated in certain groups, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Why do they do this? Why do they divide? Because it's easier. Because if they cannot control the mass is going to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
That's the. I'm not saying it's right, but it's been like this. It's been like this since the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
Since the aliens started to impregnate the women and say, okay, have them go all over the place. It's been like that forever.
Yeah.
Because you can't have the mass population just do whatever the hell they want. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some kind of control. So, but the law, the spirits, there's certain things that's going to come out of this Jovenel thing that's going to have the people open their eyes.
Yeah.
Because now when I'm listening to the youth, they're not going to vote any person for office anymore.
Wow.
That's what's been going on in Haiti.
Yeah.
They've been, they hire all types of people. Like the guy that brought Jovenel Moïse, he was an entertainer. He was a singer. Just like the Ukrainian president, he was an actor, comedian.
Yeah.
Just in case you guys didn't know. They don't know. You guys gotta do your Googles, people.
Wow.
Google is still here. You could do a little bit of Googles. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a game, man.
We live in a giant play.
It's a big game. Anyway, yeah. So thank you.
Well,
thank you, Marissa.
Look, we got 6 and 6, so we'll take that as a confirmation.
There you go. Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah,
we're all about the repeating numbers over here.
Yeah, the 6
and the 6s.
And I'm the life path.
Oh, you're 6.
Yeah.
Really? Nice.
Haiti is a 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I talked about that. That's their life path number off of January 1st, 1804.
Oh, wow.
That's their life path number, man. So, yeah, that's good.
I love that.
That's
I love
good.
that.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end on that note. Thank you guys so much for joining. And...
I'm going to say one thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to talk to the Haitians real quick.
Okay.
Tout Haïtien yo, les arrivé pour nous commencer à mettre grand monde sur nous. Nous pas qu'à kembe pays comme ça encore. Pays à sale, hein? Nous-mêmes, dans le sens nous sale tout, pour nous commencer à faire nettoyage, ok? Faire nettoyage là, faire nettoyage là, vous comprenez? Pour nous gagner un pays encore. Aïe, pour nous. All right.
All right, thank you guys, and you can find him on Instagram at Ayiti Organic.
That's with an A.
With an A.
Yeah, one word, because
One
Instagram
word.
is messing with me. You can't repost me. You can't do anything.
Yeah, he's
I don't know
highly,
why.
obviously, because he's intelligent, so he's highly blocked, and it's
all
hard to
good.
find him. But you can always message me, and I'll send you his
Yeah,
page.
here's
And
the-
yeah,
All right.
yeah. All right, guys.
One
All
love.
right, love you. Thank you.